Amen.
And welcome Ma'ol tonight, and welcome Meir. I just want to know also, but Gilad, are you leading the Seder this year?
Yes.
Bezat Hashem. And who's going to be you? Just you and the family? Are you having guests?
Yeah, and guests.
Oh, okay, very good. Very good time to have guests, Leila Seder. How about you, Ma'ol?
We're gonna be with my wife's parents, and her dad is.
He's leading the Seder.
Yeah, he's leading. Yeah,
he's leading. Okay.
Oh, Hashem, yeah, he knows.
So listen, that means you got another year to practice. Next year could be you on your own leading. One? Share, yeah.
And you, Rabbi?
Joe, is your first time, Joe?
What about you?
So
I always have help. Hilan knows a lot.
Okay, no, but you're the leader over here. So we're going to do
the leader with guidance.
With guidance. Okay, so Bezat Hashem, we're going to be prepared tonight in the second half of the
What
show.
about you, Rabbi?
We're going to do halacha. So Bezat Hashem, I'm home, and my parents are coming. We're hosting Bezat Hashem, my parents and my sister. Bezat Hashem.
They're coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Hashem. Yeah. How about you, Mayor? You saw my brother? Yeah, he's just there for 2 days.
Yeah.
Mayor, are you leading the Seder this year? Or with your family? I don't know if Mayor can hear me. Mayor? He's there. Okay. So, Bezat Hashem, we're going to start. I want to talk a little bit about Leila Seder. Before Leila Seder, I want to talk about preparing for Leila Seder. Everyone's, I'm assuming now, busy in the house. No cleaning for Pesach. No?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But we still got time.
Yeah, well, this is now the peak time. This is the time where it's the scrubbing and the cleaning involved, right? Going through cupboards, kitchen.
Yeah,
everybody's searching food from the chametz. So I had a very interesting idea I thought I want to share with you tonight. And then we're going to do some more halacha about the Leila Seder. Okay. So before I start, I'd like to, like I said, dedicate the shiur. Thank you again to John, Ari, and Mega for arranging the shiur. Dedicate tonight's shiur Lelu Nishmat Kabat Shena, Ruach Hashem Tinechena B'Gan Eden. Amen. And refuah shlema for all the injured in Israel and in the world. So we're studying now Leila Seder and a bit about the concept of cleaning for Pesach. So, people going through their house and this is like tidying up time and cleaning up. There's a famous saying that, dust is not chametz and children are not korban Pesach. Don't make everyone work and tidy up. But it is a time where like the Pesach cleaning has become like a spring cleaning, and we go through the house and we get rid of things, old things or broken things, and sort out things in the house and cleaning. So from a perspective, from a Jewish thought point of view, what are we supposed to be thinking when we're doing all of this at this time? The cleaning for Pesach. So I read today from a Pinchas Mekaritz. He said everything that we are toreach for Pesach, everything that we do, we're so busy thinking, you're so involved in the cleaning that you take off your mind of other things of yourself. And he said this is the best preparation for Pesach, because the Pesach is the concept is bitul atzmi. He calls it bivchinat poshet et hatzura, which means we're all like self-involved in ourselves during like the year, during the week time. Everyone thinks about ourselves. We think about our own stomach, our food. How tired are we? How hungry are we? What do we want? We're thinking about ourselves. And when we're involved so heavily in like intense cleaning, it takes the mind off of things, or off of yourself. I'm more involved on the Chag. So that's the best preparation for Chag. And I saw it brought down, written from the Sefer Tshuva Min HaShamayim, written from one of the Baalei Tosfot, Rabbi Yaakov Mimroish. he said the mitzvah of matzah, mitzvah of chametz, he said this is one of the first mitzvot that Am Yisrael accepted on themselves, be'ahava mechiva. And he said, we're very machmir on chametz. And we're very machmir on all the Yisurim, even more than all of the other Yisurim of the Torah, we're machmir on Pesach, on chametz. And then he says, anyone who's careful, which means, means you get extra long life. And it's midah keneged midah. He said, I'm spending time with my Pesach cleaning. I could just get a cleaner to do it, or I'm doing it myself, and I'm spending extra hours on it. So I'm staying up late, getting a little sleep, waking up early. But this is marichin layamav v'shnatav. You're getting blessed for this. Everything comes back. Everything you're doing l'shem shema. And the Kav Yashar was one of the early Hasidic Sfarim. One of the Sfarim HaKadoshim. He brings down Kabbalah Be'adi, which means I have a tradition. כל הטורח, כל טרחה שאדם מטריח עצמו לכבוד יום טוב של פסח, any festival which a person tries, he makes himself tired, הוא עייף ויגע בהטורח, he troubles himself for the Pesach. אז בעסק הזה הוא הורג את כל המזיקים הנקראים נגעי בני אדם. מזיקים, how to translate that? It's a big tikkun for a person for his own averot. Yeah, it gets rid of anything which is going to be mazikim. It's a way. I don't know if you can compare it to like self-affliction, but imagine if a person needs to be punished for things that he's done wrong. Yeah, but if he does, he goes out of his way to do a mitzvah for cleaning for Pesach or getting ready for the Chag of Pesach. So that's the best way to get rid of it. And he's already called mazikim and ikrim ligei bnei adam. So when we're busy and we're cleaning, and your wife says, "Okay, I need you to clean the cupboard." I said, "But I already did it." He said, "Yeah, I know, but then the kids went back and they played it and they ate back food, and now you got to clean it again." So we need to do that b'simcha. That's part of the tikkun, part of bitul of ourselves, and this is part of the preparation from the Chag. So the next concept I want to share with you, I heard from Rav Reuven Sasson, Rosh Yeshiva in Eretz Israel, in Hod HaSharon, I think it's called. So I heard from him, he said it's a beautiful idea. And he explained really what's behind the concept of cleaning and what we do today in cleaning of our houses, that we make order and we fix things up, we tidy things up, things are more clean. And when you come to Leila Seder, you just feel like refreshed, renewed, rejuvenated. Like the whole house has got like a makeover. Some people paint the house, even if you don't paint, but you just cleared out old stuff, junk stuff, broken things, and you just done new. You don't have Pesach in the whole house. Everything's clean. There's no chametz at all. So what's the point of you? How does that connect to chametz really? We do that, and everyone does that. It's not exactly chametz, but in a way, maybe it's chametz. So I'd like to explain this and share this idea with you. It says the following. It says there's something which is called bitul, batala. What's batala? Batala. How do you translate that in English?
Impurity?
No, batala. Batala. Batala maybe is like border.
Is it bitul?
Yeah, it's bitul, but when a person just is like idle and doesn't do anything because he's bored, so it's like wasting his time. That's really what we call batala. So, what's that got to do with Pesach batala? So listen to this beautiful idea. So the concept of a person.
The batala, it's like in vain, something that is in vain.
Yeah, it's in vain. But when we talk about batala of a person's time and a person's energy or abilities, that's really what I would say maybe the biggest one of the biggest pain of human pain, that you can do so much and you don't do anything, and it's frustrating beyond belief. And many young people commit suicide because they don't feel that they're doing anything with themselves. People go into depression, deep depression, because they feel like they're just wasting. There's so many things they could do and they don't do anything. And it's contrary to Western philosophy or belief. When a person just works for his holiday to relax and to do nothing, what do you want to do on holiday? I don't want to do anything. I just want to do nothing on holiday. 1 second. Okay, just excuse me. I need to get. Can we pause the recording? Please, I need to get my charger. Okay, welcome back. Does anyone remember what I was up to?
Explain the word batala.
Batala, exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so a person can come into the deep depression when he doesn't know what to do with himself. And batala is just he's like laying wasting with his time, and he's just stopped. So if we explain really what does it mean chametz, and what is matzah, what's it got to do with it? So I don't know if any of you baked matzot before, but so I used to go every year to make matzot. And Bikar Din explained to the halacha, what does it mean? The difference between chametz and matzah is chametz is dough which rises. Okay, when you bake bread, you leave it to rise. Okay, sometimes for an hour or sometimes more, and then you bake the bread. Matzah, there's no time for raising. There's no time. It's immediately you make the dough, you mix it, and then it's straight into the oven. Now, technically, we don't do this la halacha, but meikar adin la halacha, as long as you keep kneading the dough and you're still moving the dough around, it's not laid to rest. It doesn't puff up and it doesn't become chametz. It's still called matzah and still kasher lePesach. And even for a couple of hours, you can have a couple of hours. If you're technically always moving and touching the bread and doesn't lay to rest, then it will never rise. It will become matzah. It stays matzah and does not become chametz technically. Halachically, we are machmir on 18 minutes. Once the clock reaches 18 minutes, we stop everything and we re-clean all of the kelim, all the utensils, the whole line of making the matzot, and we start fresh. Now, what's the concept? The concept and the idea behind this is that chametz is when you leave something to rest, and then it puffs up and becomes leaven, the bread, which is chametz, right? It rises, and that becomes bread. Now, what's the idea behind that is that's called batala. And the shimum mevi b'didei batala. And it brings to the worst things, right? It says, Bitul Shimon mevi lidei avira. Brings a person to avira because we say boy doesn't know what to do with himself. So, what's that got to do with chametz? So, if you think about it like this, the pasuk says, let me just find the pasuk. Yotzer or Ubor choshech. Pasuk in Navi Yeshaya. It says Yotzer or ubor choshech, oseh shalom, ubore et hakol. So in fact, that's the pasuk that we say in Tefillah. But a pasuk which we actually read in the Navi doesn't say ubore et hakol. Very similar wording, changes one word. Yotzer or ubor choshech creates light and darkness. Oseh shalom creates peace. Ubore ra. Instead of hakol, it says ra, which means ra is bad. Okay, now let's think about it. What are these two opposites? There's or and choshech, light and dark. Those are clearly two opposites. But why is oseh shalom and borei ra? Why is that two opposites? What's shalom? Peace. What's the opposite of peace?
War.
Milchama.
Okay, milchama. So it's not really ra. Or you could say milchama is ra. War is bad. But when we say in the piyut, we say oseh shalom uborei et hakol. Why is hakol? Why is that compared to ra? Why is that the opposite of shalom? So it's actually a beautiful idea. I have to explain.
Can I just ask a quick question just regarding the technicality?
Yes.
Is it me? Is it me, or is the reception a little bit distorted? Is it my?
I think it's you, Joe.
Is it just my phone?
I'm using your
You think
cable.
Yeah, I think it's you. I'm getting good.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm using the cable and it's good reception for me.
Sorry. Sorry, Karen.
Okay, so Oseh Shalom, Borei Takol. So why is that Oseh Shalom? Why is it the opposite of Borei Ra? Why is Shalom the opposite of Ra? So you could say the peace, okay, the opposite of peace is bad, that's war. Why is that? Why is that Hakol? So listen to this insight. Gemara says in Ta'anit that, or well, let me start from the Ben Ish Chai. Ben Ish Chai asks a question, why do you say Oseh Shalom b'bromav? Hu barachamav yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. Oseh Shalom b'bromav, the one who makes peace in the heavens, he should make peace upon us. What's there peace to do in the heavens? Like there's fightings, there's shama milchamot, there's wars in the heavens that you need to make peace. Well, what's going on over there? So the Ben Ish Chai says, according to the Gemara in Ta'anit, why is it called Shamayim? Why is it called Shamayim? One of the reasons given, Shamayim is Notorikon, is made of the two words Esh and Maim. Esh and Maim. Shamayim or Esh and Maim. In the heavens there is water and fire. How does water and fire coexist? You can't coexist water and fire. It's a miracle. Hashem has to make peace between water and fire in order to create the heavens. So that's also in the Shamayim. Right? So Oseh Shalom b'bromav is making shalom between the Esh and the Mayim. Now, says the Gemara, Gemara actually in fact says in Brachot, Shalosh Shlomot Hen. What does that mean? What does it mean, Shalosh Shlomot Hen? There are three types of peace. Gemara says, Nahar, Tzipor, and Kedera. There is the river, bird, and Kedera is a cauldron. So the Gemara calls there three types of peace. Why is that called a peace? So if we just take the Kedera, the cauldron, why is that a peace? Because the cauldron makes peace between the fire and water. Right? When each one's got its own compartment, the water is inside the cauldron, the fire is underneath, then you can make good use. There's a peace between them, and then you can cook things, you can make a nice coffee, a tea, cook vegetables, heat up water, take a nice hot bath. If you didn't have the cauldron, there's no peace. What would the water do? Blow out the fire. You don't have nothing, right? So, and in fact, if you need a cauldron with a lid as well, otherwise the fire would evaporate all the water. So as long as you've got everything in its own place, you have peace. Now, what happens when you have confusion in a business or in a marriage? Each one doesn't know their own place. I don't know what's my place as a husband or as a father. You don't know what your place is as a mother or as a wife, or in work. What's my job? What's your job? In a synagogue, what's my job? What's your job? And that causes confusion and conflict and not peace. There's no shalom. It's ra. It's bad. So what in fact is bad? Bad is when a person doesn't even know his place. A person goes into deep depression because I don't know what my place is. What am I supposed to be doing? What is my job? What is my tafkid? That is very frustrating, especially when a person knows his great ability and he ends up doing nothing. That's batala. So everything needs its place. And so that is the opposite of ra. What ra is hakol. It's everything jumbled up. You're trying to do everything. You want to do everything. You don't understand what your place is, what's not your place. Leila Seder is the night of order. What comes first, what comes second? It's clear to everyone. Kadesh, Urechat. Everything's got a Seder. Everything's got an order. When we're busy cleaning for Pesach, everything's got a place. The books have their place, the cutlery has their place, the toys have their place. You put everything in a Seder. And it's person coming to realize, I've also a tafkid. What am I supposed to be doing? Now, one of the great leaders in the generation, it's just passed away now, we're still in the Shloshim of Rav Chaim Kanievsky. And he knew clearly what was his tafkid. Maybe even more important to know what is your tafkid is to know what's not your tafkid. He knew what he was not supposed to be. His father told him, you don't need to be a Rosh Hashiva or Dayan, you just need to learn the whole time. And he knew each day of the year, he knew exactly what he was learning. He used to finish the whole Torah every year. All of the Gemara, Bavli, Yerushalmi, Sifra, Sifri, Zohar, everything, every single year he used to finish it. Things that people spend their whole life trying to finish once, he used to finish every single year for the past 40 years. 50 years, every year he was doing it. And he did the same dapim every day. In the same year, he knew Rosh Chodesh Nisan, he knows which dapim he needs to learn. Chet Nisan, he knows which dapim. Erev Pesach, he would make his big siyum. So he was a person that he had no batala and no shimum. He had a fun life. He enjoyed his life. He loved it. Man, he got up every day with smiling. He said, I know what I'm doing today. Every person in Am Yisrael is supposed to wake up in the morning and know what I'm supposed to be doing today. You start.
How many children did he have?
Good question, Joe. I don't know. I think he had 3 boys and at least 2 girls, or 3 girls, maybe 4. My son is saying 3 girls. 3 boys and 2 girls. 2 or 3 girls. Okay. Everyone's supposed to know, what is their tafkid in life, what they're supposed to be doing. And when a person reaches that, then there is no shimon. There's no batala. There's no wasted time. There's time to rest. Rest is not a waste of time. Sometimes a person needs just to lie down in the park and just do nothing, just for it to break out, to let the machine cool down. But there's no really time wasted. There's no energy wasted. So that will come up to Leila Seder. That's the preparation. When you're cleaning up all the house and getting everything in order, Leila Seder. I have a life. I wake up in the morning and the first thing I know what I do moda'ani. I know I wash my hands. I know I get dressed. I know how to get dressed. Right shoe first, left shoe second. Then I go to pray. I put my tefillin. I ask Hashem to help me today. I want to be successful in the things I want to do. So it sets me into a routine. Every Jewish person knows a Jewish life. And if you have a Seder Yomi, what you learn every day, I learn my Daf Yomi every day, or my Mishnah Yomi, or Halacha Yomi. I know what I'm doing every day. This is what I'm supposed to put myself into order. So this is something to think about on a spiritual level. The importance of having Seder, and when you look around the house, I'm looking at my house now, we're in the middle of Balagan now, because everything is middle of Pesach, yeah? You can't find maybe you can't find, clean corner. I've got a clean corner over here, just for the shield. But every rest is Balagan. But this is in the process of creating order. That's Oseh Shalom Uboret HaKol. Is everything, and then you make order. So that's the first idea I wanted to share with you. Second idea, we're going to talk about Kimcha de Pesach. Yeah, we spoke about this last week a little bit. There's a special halakha of tzedakah. We always give tzedakah before Chagim. But before Pesach, there's a special mitzvah of Kimcha de Pesach. And really literally translated as flour for Pesach, Kimcha de Pesach, Kemach shel Pesach. In the olden times, what did they used to eat? Even rich people, they just ate matzah on Pesach. That was like the main food. Maybe some vegetables. But before, they needed money. They needed to have flour to make their own matzot. So they still provide them with flour. Nowadays, even poor people, they eat food. The mitzvah, no one makes their own matzot. They buy the matzot. So now the mitzvah of Kimcha de Pesach is to give money for the poor, to provide what they need for Pesach. Okay, that's the basic mitzvah. A person needs matzot, needs wine, he needs meat, vegetables, food, clothes for children. So that is what a mitzvah to provide for them on Pesach. Especially when we're going to say in the Haggadah, Kol Yefin, we say everyone wants to come and eat. We open the door. Everyone is welcome. Now, if you're living in your apartment on the 4th floor by yourself, who are you going to listen to? Who are you talking to? If you're giving Kimcha de Pesach beforehand, there's somebody eating on your account. That's the mitzvah to give. And when we give it, just showing that we appreciate what we have is from a God. It's part of the emunah. A person does not believe that where his money is coming from, he can't give any tzedakah. He won't be able to, because he believes the money is mine. Why should I give something which is mine? So, and in fact, it strengthens our belief. If I believe it, but when it comes to actually giving tzedakah, that's more difficult. So by giving the tzedakah, then that is mechazek my emunah. And we know it's tzedakah, tatzil mimavet, and tzedakah is akol b'yad Hashem. What you give, you get back, and it comes back. You never lose from giving tzedakah. I always say that about this. So I was actually shocked by how much you're actually supposed to give. Can anyone give me an idea of how much you're supposed to give? What the minhag is written in Mishnah Berurah? Because this is halakha b'budam, the Shulchan Aruch and Ramah. I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you a personal story. I gave what I thought was a nice amount. For myself, for my budget, it's way more than I would usually give. And I thought that's nice to give for Pesach. And then I actually looked up the halacha, how much you're actually supposed to give, and calculated it. And I realized I gave nowhere near enough, and I ended up giving double more than what I originally gave, and even that's not enough. And I'm just going to read it to you what is actually written in Mishnah Bura.
10% is not enough.
No, so first of all, you can't give 10%. No. If you give 10%, that's fine. 10% of your masot is 100% fine. You're all there. Given Kimcha de Pischa, when you give the money from Kitab de Pischa, it's from your own maaser. That's fine. But your maaser, you can choose how you want to spread out. You can give someone Hanukkah, you can give someone Pesach, you can give someone Purim, whenever you want. But in Pesach, now is the time to give extra. That means don't wait until after Pesach and give, okay, I'll give afterwards. Or give
so how much we should give?
Okay, so I'm going to read it out for Mishnah Bura. This is Lashon, you tell me what you think it means. Okay? Chitim lechalkan, b'medinotenu. This is what he says in our minhag of the Chafetz Chaim where he was in Europe. המנהג לחלק קמח שעל ידי זה מקרבה הנייתה, תפי. בשיעור הנתינה, how much is the amount you should give? הוא כפי צורכו לכל ימי הפסח. How much you spend on yourself and your family for all the days of Pesach, that's how much you're supposed to give. That basically doubles your expenditure.
Again, can you please repeat? Sorry, Rabbi. How much you give?
He doesn't say a number. He says how to calculate the number.
Yes.
שיעור הנתינה הוא forward כפי צורכו לכל ימי הפסח. How much do you spend? How much do you need for yourself for Pesach? You have a family, and for yourself, for your family, how much you spend for Pesach for the whole 8 days of Pesach or 7 days of Pesach? That's how much is the shiur. Is
that bare necessities or does that include luxuries?
Okay, so very good question, Joe. How much would you spend? So it's not clear. Okay, and again, it's minhag, it's not halacha. The halacha is to give. And now we like to spend on ourselves. All right, we spend more than luxuries. We spend good wine. We spend good meat. We buy new clothes. So everyone make a calculation how much you can give. At the end of the day, everything is taken from maaser. So if you take maaser, you just calculate it off your maaser. But you want to be giving an amount that somebody can do a chag, and he can enjoy his chag. That's what you want him to do. And that's it. It's a different number for every person. Right? Every person, how much their maaser is, how much they give. But it's a big mitzvah to give now. And I just want to end off with the chidush of the Gaon Vilna, which gives a bit of a chizuk and a story. And then we're going to go to halacha. Okay? Pasuk says in the Torah, Shivat yamim tochal matzot, u'b'yom hashvi'i chag la'Hashem, which means 7 days you eat matzot, and on the 7th day is chag la'Hashem. Then there's another very similar pasuk. Listen carefully to these words, because this is the beautiful chidush. Okay? I'm going to repeat it. The first pasuk says, Shivat yamim tochal matzot, 7 days eat matzot, tochal matzot, u'b'yom hashvi'i chag la'Hashem. And the next pasuk repeats it, matzot ya'achel, matzot should be eaten, et shivat hayamim. Now the Gaon Vilna and Kol Eliyahu asks 3 questions. And you should automatically get 2 of them just by reading the pasuk. I'll read it again. First pasuk says, Shivat yamim tochal matzot, and then it says, matzot ya'achel et shivat hayamim. So question number 1, everyone should come up with at least 1 question. Why is it repeated? It's only 7 days eat matzot. You should eat matzot 7 days. Shivat yamim tochal matzot, matzot ya'achel shivat yamim. Simple question. Why are you repeating it? Second question. Yes, Joe.
To make sure we understand.
Yeah, I love that.
But maybe that's the remez lakam chad pascha that you just said.
Yes, very good. Okay, good. You made the connection, Gilad. But Joe, you said very good. Why does it say difference in the language? He's not repeating the same thing twice. You have to appreciate when you're giving a shiur.
No, because he said et it's the robot. It's okay.
Okay, 1 second. Hold on, Gilad. Let's just explain Joe's question. Joe was saying, why is the difference in the expression? Right? You're not just repeating the same words. Shivat yamim tochal matzot, shivat yamim tochal matzot. No, it says shivat yamim tochal matzot, and then it changes matzot ya'achel. It says matzot shall be eaten.
Shall be eaten.
Shall be eaten by who?
by us.
Okay, so
Is
you have
it-
to understand
is it
when the
also-
Torah repeats something, it's not so that we understand. No, you want to understand, read it again. Okay, it's not like when you're giving a shiur, when you explain to your friend something. Yeah, the Torah, every word is a chidush, even every letter. Yeah, kol kotzo shel yud. You don't understand it. You study again till you learn 100 times. You know, your whole life you spent studying Torah. If it's repeated, it's repeated for a reason. So there's three questions here. Question number one: why is it repeated? Question number two: why is the difference in language? Tochal matzot, eat matzot, matzot yachel, matzot should be eaten. And third question is,
I was going to ask, is it a matter of benefiting from two mitzvot? Because it's said twice in two different ways.
oh, very good. So actually, the Gemara does say that many times. Sometimes it's repeated to say teach two mitzvot. But here it's the same mitzvah, seemingly. The Gaon Mevilna gives the answer, and he asks the third question. How do you spell matzot?
Mem tzadik
Mem tzadik
vav.
vav. Very good. Tough. So you added in the vav. So in fact, the Torah in the first pasuk it says without a vav. Shivat yamim tochal matzot. You should eat matzot without a vav. And then it says matzot with a vav yachel et shivat hayamim. So we're going to combine Joe and Gilad's both ideas into this chidush. Because Joe said, is it luxuries or necessities? Do you remember saying that? And
Yeah.
Gilad said, et lerabot. Remember saying that? Now listen to this Gaon Mevilna. Says the Gaon Mevilna, the first time it's talking about you eat matzot. 7 days, tochal matzot. You eat matzot without a vav. You simply eat matzot. The second time, it says matzot ya'achel. You make sure other people are eating matzot. Et shivat hayamim, et lerabot. And then it says with a vav. So it says when you're providing for other people to eat, you make sure that they're eating with a vav. Give them the good matzot, give them the good stuff, give them the extras, yeah? Give them what they need, the necessities, and the extras. Matzot ya'achel. That's why it says it twice. Once is for yourself, and one is for the Pesach to make sure that other people have what to eat. And that's why it says a change in the lashon. Because one is tochal, you eat. One is ya'achel, you make sure others eat. And one is written with a vav, and one is without a vav, necessity. So if you want
and then המצות הופכות למצוות as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also matzot without a vav is rashi tevot tzedaka tatzil mimavet. That is reverse order. Matzot tzedaka tatzil mimavet, or matzot mimavet mimavet. Tzedaka tatzil. That is matzot. So that's what saves a person. And this famous story of a woman that she gave, I don't know, she went to her freezer to give like her last chicken. She found like her child was in the freezer, locked himself inside the freezer. She saved him in the last second. That is what tzedakah is. Tzedakah is something that we give. So Hashem should help us to understand the great opportunity of this mitzvah and help us to do chesed with the money that He gives us to help also the others which are less fortunate. Be happy in the Chag. And like they will be happy in the Chag, we will rejoice in the Chag and we'll be absolutely happy and blessed. I said last week, who do you give your tzedakah to? If you have somebody in your family, you give to your family first. Family doesn't just mean brother, but also cousins, also family is included. If you have somebody in community, community. If not, Eretz Israel is like your family. Eretz Israel is also like your community for all of the world. Okay? Okay. With that, we're going to start the halacha for Leil HaSeder. And if we like to pause recording, we'll start separately.